It's here first from IPR News. I'm Megan McKinney. There's a new tool out there to help small towns navigate if they should develop data centers or not. And later in today's episode, we're going to take a look at why childcare is so expensive. It's Thursday, August 6th. A dispute over a potential data center in northwest Iowa has now moved to the courts. IPR's Sheila Brummer has more.
Woodbury County has filed a lawsuit asking a judge to review whether Salix legally annexed nearly 900 acres of farmland. The chairperson of the Woodbury County Supervisors, Mark Nelson, says a county attorney found problems after reviewing the annexation that happened in April.
And that if there is a system that we're supposed to follow when it comes to annexation or anything else, that it's being followed to the letter of the law.
The lawsuit says Salix didn't properly notify the public and annexed some of the property that doesn't border Salix. On Monday, Google said it's evaluating the site for a possible data center. Residents who oppose the project say it would harm the environment. Supporters say it would bring jobs and boost the local economy. Salix Mayor Kevin Nelson says he can't comment on the court filing. I'm Sheila Brummer, IPR News.
Small Iowa towns thinking about data centers now have a new tool at their disposal. University of Iowa's Hubbell Environmental Law Initiative and Tippie College of Business partner to create something they're calling the Iowa Data Center Decision Tool. It's a document that gives community members and elected officials plenty of things to think about if they're considering a data center ordinance or project proposal. It's one thing that Tippie's Amy Colbert says artificial intelligence can't replace.
Asking ChatGPT, should we build a data center or not, will give you the average of what all communities might think. But we wanted this to be tailored specifically for smaller communities in Iowa. And that's why we asked real people who had dealt with these decisions to weigh in.
The decision tool is available online through the Hubbell Environmental Law Initiative's website. The newest version of the U.S. Farm Bill would cut nearly $2 billion from what some farmers consider an essential conservation program. The Environmental Quality Incentives Program gives farmers money to implement eco-friendly farm practices. The program started in the late 90s and was recently granted permanent federal funding. Rebecca Bartels works for the nonprofit Invest in Our Land, which advocates for conservation on farms. She says the program has helped thousands of producers create healthier soil and increase their yields.
The majority of farmers know that it's a very, very valuable thing to do, but they can't afford to do it alone.
If the proposal passes, Bartels says more than 50,000 farmers could lose funding they were already promised. Nothing is final yet. The Senate Agriculture Committee will meet this morning to mark up the bill. The Herbert Hoover Presidential Library and Museum in West Branch is reopening today after a $20 million renovation. IPR's Eliza Billingham has a sneak peek.
The last thing the museum wants to present is a dry chronology.
We create immersive scenes where we actually put you in a particular scene in the lives of Herbert and Lou Henry Hoover.
That's the museum's director, Thomas Schwartz. He says new exhibits aim to draw visitors into the whole life of the 31st president, which extends from Hoover's 4 years in the White House to decades of global humanitarian work.
Each gallery has its own color palette, its own soundtrack, its own set of props and tactile experiences, and some even have scent pots.
The museum's opening ceremony will include Hoover's great-grandchildren and Belgian diplomats. I'm Eliza Billingham, IPR News.
It's here first from IPR. I'm Megan McKinney. Stay with us after the break. We're going to take a look at childcare costs, as well as how two Midwestern lawmakers are leading the charge to make childcare more affordable. That's after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. It's here first from IPR. I'm Megan McKinney. It's no secret that childcare is expensive. Iowa families spend anywhere from $9,000 to $13,000 a year for the service. Meanwhile, the way the federal government calculates federal childcare subsidies hasn't been updated in more than a decade. But a fix is in the works thanks in part to an Iowa lawmaker. The Midwest Newsroom's Daniel Wheaton reports.
The first few years of a child's life can be the most expensive. Unlike school-age children, whose education is funded with taxes, families are expected to pay for care.
Many Midwesterners needed two things in order to get to work today. They needed a road to drive on and somebody to take care of their children.
That's Walter Gilliam, the executive director of the Buffett Early Childhood Institute at the University of Nebraska.
One of those we treat as an infrastructure, roads. The other one is childcare.
Across the country, about 70% of children under age 6 live in homes with working parents. For some parents, the sheer cost of childcare means it makes economic sense for one parent to leave the workforce, a decision that can come with a lifetime of lower earnings. The federal government allocated more than $12 billion in subsidies this fiscal year. States determine the details, but eligibility is usually tied to the state's average household income. Earning more than $60,000 in a year can mean a family is not eligible. Not all childcare providers accept subsidies. Just Like Mine Daycare in Lincoln, Nebraska is one that does. Liz Arnold has operated Just Like Mine in her home since 2020 and has been a childcare worker since 2010. Accepting this subsidy comes at a real cost.
You're not getting paid cost of care. I make more money when I have private pay clients, but it is important to me that I support my subsidy families because that was the family that I was when my kids were growing up.
Subsidies also come with additional paperwork for providers. They have to track attendance, drop-off times, and are subject to inspection at any time. There's lots of paperwork for families as well. Tiffany Belford of Lincoln has been on the subsidy for about a year. We spoke during drop-off in late July.
How long do you think you've spent just gathering all that paperwork and proof?
It's taken a couple times just for them to either email me the paperwork, tell me where to find it on their website because it's not always the fastest find, getting someone to finally fax it over to where I need it. So it's been a lot of hours trying to figure out everything.
Nationwide, there are nearly 11 million childcare slots, but nearly 15 million children who need care. As low pay leads to high turnover, there's a shortage of workers. It's part of a cycle that keeps costs rising. Here's Brendan Timpey, an economics professor at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln.
It's hard to pay them enough to compete with these other sectors, right? And that raises the prices.
Congress is working on measures to update how subsidies work and increase the supply of childcare slots. The House and Senate versions both have bipartisan support. Nebraska Senator Deb Fischer introduced the Senate version. She discussed the bill at a hearing in April.
Across our states, we consistently hear about three core challenges: limited supply, workforce shortages, and high costs for families. The Child Care Modernization Act directly addresses each of these.
Iowa Representative Ashley Hinson introduced the House version. It would update the grant system by calculating the subsidy from the total cost of care. This would make subsidies more responsive to inflation. Timpey, the economics professor, supports the bill, but improving childcare workers' wages is his primary concern.
I don't see a really easy way around this that doesn't involve raising wages.
As the midterms loom and Congress enters its summer recess, it's unlikely the bills will move in the short term. In the meantime, the daily routine of drop-off, complete with hugs and waves, will continue at Just Like Mine Daycare. I'm Daniel Wheaton, the Midwest Newsroom.
Great reporting from the Midwest Newsroom. It's a collaboration including NPR and member stations in Iowa, Kansas, Missouri, and Nebraska. It's also a member of the Trust Project. I'm Megan McKinney. Thanks for listening to Here First today. I hope you have a great Thursday.